Foul Manor by Trevor Lidke. Story number 2, Working Girl. Chapter 1, The Princess in the Tower. Morning had arrived at the manor. The sun shone brightly on the outer walls, which highlighted the many cracks and chips in the paint. Out back in the grassy backyard was Jeremy, poking around by the river. His eyes were bloodshot, and underneath them, dark circles were forming. Rather than spending his night asleep, Jeremy roamed around the neighborhood until 4:30 that morning, then lay down in his bed for only 3 hours, then began his day. Now, here he was. He didn't really know what he was doing by the river, but whatever he was doing, he sure was doing it. Jeremy's hand lazily dipped into the water, which felt only slightly colder than it was the day before. Suddenly, something hit his hand. Jeremy looked down and saw a baby turtle.
"Whoa, no way!"
he exclaimed. Jeremy scooped the turtle up, eyeing it intensely.
"What a neat find! Sure don't see that every day."
Jeremy looked into the river, then back at the turtle.
"I don't see any parents. Heh, looks like you're coming home with me, little guy."
"What do you think you're doing?"
a voice called out. Jeremy wheeled around to see Patsy standing behind him, hands on her hips and a furious scowl spread across her face.
"I'm just holding this little turtle," Jeremy replied, "thinking I may keep him or something. Do baby turtles need to get walked a lot like dogs?"
"You can't just take him out of the river like that,"
said Patsy.
"He has a family that he needs to be with. Besides, you're upsetting the ecosystem. You're taking him out of his natural routine. He won't be able to survive."
"He'll be able to survive if I teach him to," said Jeremy. "I'm pretty good at making people do what I want."
"Well, you're not very good at convincing me,"
said Patsy.
"Yeah, well,
Jeremy stammered.
That's because I'm just not trying that hard. Yeah, I would totally be able to convince you if I really wanted to."
Sure.
Patsy sighed as she inched closer to Jeremy. Without a warning, she plucked the turtle right from Jeremy's hands, cupping it in her own, holding it close to her chest.
"Don't worry, little one. You'll be home soon."
She knelt down at the river and dropped the turtle in. It swam away, eventually getting out of sight.
"It didn't even stop to say goodbye,"
said Jeremy. Patsy turned to look at Jeremy, utterly confused by what she just heard.
"What? It's a figure of speech."
Before Patsy could say anything else, the door flew open. Ethan stuck his head out and called, "Hey guys! Breakfast is on!" The two of them sped inside. The smell of bacon and eggs permeated the air. It was impossible not to notice it. Ethan was in the kitchen, dishing up 8 plates full of food. Sitting at the table were Amanda, Yevgeny, and Olivia. Seconds later, Grace sped down the stairs and into the kitchen.
"I just called home," she said. "Sure enough, Dupovny was telling the truth. One of his friends has moved to Beverly, Kansas. His name is Patrick Griffin. He bought the old Robinson place at the end of the street."
"Well, mystery solved then," said Yevgeny. "I can finally sleep at night without these constant nightmares of wondering whether or not this friend is real."
"Oh, don't mind him,"
Amanda beamed.
"It's always good to find out the answer to these little mysteries in life. That's what helps make it so interesting, don't you think?"
"Yeah, I guess so," Grace said unsurely. "So, someone cooked breakfast or something?" "Ethan did," Olivia replied. She turned to Ethan, then continued. "You really didn't have to, you know. We could definitely cook for ourselves." "No, really, I insist," Ethan chirped. "It's the least I could do for my new friends. Besides, my cooking is kind of a big deal back home. Everyone goes nuts for it. I hope that didn't sound too arrogant. Sorry if it sounded like I was boasting or something." "For that you must be put to death," Yevgeny snickered.
"Do you always have to be on?"
Amanda scoffed. "Only when I get these reactions from you," Yevgeny said coyly. Patsy and Jeremy took their seats while Ethan gave everyone their plates. Right as Jeremy was about to dig in, Ethan stopped him. "Hey, whoa, buddy," he said. "Don't you notice something missing here?"
I don't know. Toast or something?"
"No, we're missing somebody. Lance isn't here." "Oh, please," Yevgeny grunted. We don't need to wait for him. He would not be waiting for us. Everyone else is already here. The whiny one, the princess, the girl from nowhere, the smelly man, the shy girl, and you, Mormon man. So what if we are missing the brainiac? Ethan ignored this. He shot right up from his seat and called out, "Hey Lance, breakfast is on!" Silence. Do you think he heard me?
I think the whole house heard you, Grace replied. I think I felt the table shake. That's okay, though. You're just letting him know about breakfast, Olivia said unsurely. I mean, it's a good thing, right? Nothing wrong with that?
Well, I wouldn't think so, Ethan replied with a shrug. But I guess next time I'll just go looking for him if the noise bothers you guys. Lance briskly entered the room, deeply immersed in a copy of The Bridge Over River Kwai. Someone cook breakfast? He asked. You missed the explanation, Yevgeny replied. We are not going to repeat it for you because you are rudely late.
Ethan was kind enough to cook breakfast for us,
Amanda said while scowling at Yevgeny.
Isn't that just sweet of him?
Yeah, I guess so, Lance answered. I'll take mine to go, though. Thanks. Lance scooped his plate up and began to leave. Wait! Ethan called out. Don't you want to sit at the table with the rest of us? It's our first morning together. I don't see how that would make any difference, said Lance. It's that, it'd be a good opportunity for us to get to know each other, said Ethan, desperately trying to sound positive. Wouldn't it be great to start getting to know everybody on a deep personal level? We are housemates after all, we're going to be living together for quite some time. May as well make a friendship out of it. Or 7 friendships. Lance looked around the table, back at his book, then right at Ethan. I think I'll pass for today, thanks, said Lance as he left the room. Oh, well, Ethan sighed. Guess you can't please everybody. Okay, everyone, dig in. The second that Ethan finished his sentence, Jeremy loudly began eating his food, snorting and smacking his lips with every bite.
Do you have to do that? Patsy asked. It's so disgusting.
Are you trying to take a page from the book of Amanda here? Asked Yevgeny. If so, you're doing a very good job. I'm getting a headache already.
I mean, I can't be the only one disgusted by it. Well, Olivia stammered. It's not very... it's kinda...
Fine, Jeremy groaned. I'll eat more quietly, okay?
Jeremy resumed eating his food, as equally loud and obnoxious as he had before. Feeling annoyed, Patsy shoveled the rest down her throat, then excused herself from the table. Patsy walked out to the backyard, going back to the river. No turtles were there this time. Good. They were all safe from Jeremy. Looking at the water and thinking about the turtles reminded Patsy of home. Even though she'd only been gone for exactly 1 day, she was already starting to feel a little homesick. Hawaii's nice sandy beaches, the tropical air, and of course, her family, all stayed in her mind.
It's gonna be okay, though,
she told herself.
I'm here to make new memories in a new place with new friends. Hopefully one special friend.
Patsy took her shoes off and plunged her feet right into the river. Maybe it was because she hadn't been forcibly shoved in there this time, but the water felt a lot nicer this time around. The slightly chilled waves rapping against her legs gave her goosebumps. The sun shimmering on the surface occasionally blinded her, but it was all worth it. Such a beautiful sight, unlike anything she could see back home. She lost track of time, however, because before she knew it, her stomach was rumbling.
Either I didn't eat enough at breakfast, or it's time for lunch,
she said with a smile. Quickly, she ran back inside and tore the screen door open. Grace and Yevgeny were on the couch, watching TV. Patsy expectantly looked around for any sight of food, but nothing was there.
Did Ethan not cook lunch or something?
She asked.
Well, why would he? Grace replied. I think it was kind of obvious it was just a one-time deal. Breakfast, and then we have to fend for ourselves? That's not fair, though, Patsy exclaimed. He got our hopes up. He misled us. I don't think he really did that, said Grace. To me, it seems like you're kind of understanding the deal.
If you are hungry, why do you not make something yourself and then leave us alone? We cannot hear our show, Yevgeny barked.
Yevgeny, please, that's not going to help anything, said Grace. But he does have a point, though, Patsy. If you want some food, cook something yourself. There's food in the pantry and in the fridge. There's lots to choose from.
And none of it is expired as far as I know, Yevgeny added. Patsy turned around, eyeing the pantry. She had never cooked on her own before, but how hard could it be? Her mother did it every day for 5 people. Clearly it couldn't be that complicated. Patsy opened the pantry door, eyeing the food inside. She pulled out a jar of jelly and a jar of peanut butter.
Nothing wrong with the classic PB&J,
She smiled. She began scanning the pantry for the bread, but nothing was there.
Where's the bread, guys?
She asked.
It's in the freezer,
Grace replied. Patsy opened up the freezer and pulled out the bread. She grabbed 2 pieces and pulled them out, but immediately dropped them to the floor.
Ah! It's all frozen!
She exclaimed. Yes, this is what a freezer does. Now will you please be quiet? Barked Yevgeny, sounding indignant with the last sentence. Patsy picked the 2 pieces up, then walked over to the sink. A stream of hot water burst from the faucet.
You're not seriously gonna wash the bread off, are you?
Asked Grace.
It was on the floor for like 2 seconds. It's fine to eat. You know what they say, 5-second rule. Ew, no, that's gross. It was on the dirty floor,
Patsy shrieked.
I'm gonna wash it off. You don't really wash bread, Patsy,
said Grace.
That's not really how it's done.
Do you even know what you are doing? Asked Yevgeny.
Of course I do. It's easy.
Patsy snapped back.
Now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go thaw this bread out.
Patsy threw the 2 pieces of bread away and grabbed 2 new ones. She looked around for a way to warm it up. On the counter, she spotted the toaster. Plunk, plunk. The 2 pieces of bread tumbled into the slots. Patsy pulled the lever down, and the inside shone bright orange. Memories of breakfast from back home flooded into her mind. Always having to wait for the toast to pop up was so annoying. What if there was a way to make it go faster? She looked down at the dial, which was on 4.
4? She asked herself. That's gonna take forever. Maybe if I put it up to 9.
Patsy flipped the dial to 9 and sat back and waited. A minute later, she began staring at the toaster, wondering what was taking the bread so long.
Shouldn't it have been done by now?
She asked.
Bread takes time to cook,
Grace said. And you would know this how? Asked Yevgeny.
Oh, yeah, I see how it is,
Grace snapped back.
Because I'm a farm girl, I have no idea what technology is. Oh, but you know, you're right. I totally forgot. We're all Amish people who are mortified by electricity and we're totally confused by them newfangled flying machines.
Yes, somebody is snippy today, Yevgeny groaned.
Chung!
The bread popped out of the toaster. Patsy looked over and was horrified to see 2 charred pieces of bread.
What happened here?
She squealed. Grace and Yevgeny turned around.
Did you set it to max or something?
Asked Grace.
No,
Patsy replied.
Only 9.
That is the max, Grace replied with a sigh.
Patsy, do you even know what you're doing? Be honest. It's okay if you don't.
Yevgeny let out a mighty laugh. You must be joking. This princess here has been so spoiled and pampered her whole life, she doesn't know how to do anything. She wouldn't know how to breathe if she didn't have to do it to live.
That is so not true, Yevgeny,
Patsy snapped. Oh, I think it is, Yevgeny laughed. You are the princess stuck in the tower, cut off from how normal people live their lives. You do not know how to take care of yourself. You need mommy and daddy to care for you all the time. Oh, I do not know how to take care of myself. Here I am like a little baby on the ground. Wah, wah. A hot wash of anger quickly covered Patsy. She could not let him get away with saying these things. Even if they were true, they were very hurtful. Besides,
you better stop that right now,
she ordered. Or what? Yevgeny jeered. You're going to order your daddy to hire a hitman on me? Or do you not know how to use phone?
I think she can take care of herself just fine, Yevgeny,
Grace interrupted.
Why not let her have a chance to prove it?
Yevgeny turned to look at Patsy. He removed his sunglasses, looking at her straight in the eye. For the first time, Patsy saw Yevgeny's eyes. They were large, round, blue, and expressive. The last thing she thought they would be, coming from someone with his demeanor and personality. They were oddly captivating to look at, which made her wonder why he kept them hidden behind the frames. "Very well," said Yevgeny. "You will have a chance today to prove that you know how to take care of yourself. You do chores, you do laundry, you do cleaning. You show us that you know what you are doing. And if you do, then I prove myself wrong. But if I win, then you will not hear the end of it."
Oh, come on, Grace groaned. If you're gonna bet, why not actually have some stakes? Bragging rights is nothing. This is reality TV. Things need to be big and exciting and important. Please, I don't want this to escalate more than it already is,
Patsy said in somewhat of a panic, but Grace wasn't to be deterred. She kept going.
I have an idea, she exclaimed. What if the loser has to do the winner's chores for the next 3 days? See? Wouldn't that be a great prize?
Yevgeny smiled a nasty smile at Patsy. "I think it sounds just fine," said Yevgeny. "I know that if you lose, when you lose, you will have to do my chores and you will not know how to do them. But I am not doing this for completion. I am doing this because I would like a good laugh." The hot wash of anger was now a boiling river of rage. Patsy could not hold it in any longer. She stormed right over to Yevgeny, thrusting her hand out. "Shake on it," she said. Yevgeny grabbed her hand with a tight grip, shaking it aggressively. "May the better person win," he said. "First off, why do you not do laundry?"
"Because I've only got one dirty outfit," she said.
"Well then, why not give your clothes a nice good sheen?" Yevgeny replied. "After all, you've accepted the challenge. You had better prove yourself if you want to win." With that, Patsy sheepishly walked up the stairs. What had she done? Deep down, she always knew she couldn't do this, but now that the challenge was started, there was no denying it. All of these chores may have looked easy, but she had never done a single one of them before in her life. It was always her parents that had to pick up after her or prepare her food. She never once did any of this on her own. Had everyone else already done this? Apparently so. She was just behind.
It's not gonna stay that way for long,
Patsy told herself.
By the end of the day, I'm gonna finally learn how to take care of myself.